Our 20th year together. This is the National Football League on NBC.
The roars of a partisan crowd here at Mile High Stadium. Emotional Denver, mile high for this playoff. 13-3, most wins ever by a Bronco team. Dan Reeves, the head coach, against a steel-tough challenge expected from Chuck Noll, Central champions from Pittsburgh. The winner makes plans for Miami.
Today, from Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, it's the AFC Divisional Playoff game. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Denver Broncos. Today's game is brought to you by Today's Chevrolet. See Today's Chevy. Drive Today's Chevy. Live Today's Chevy. By Bud Light, the less filling light beer with the first name in taste. And by IBM. Whatever business you are in, an IBM business computer system can help you run it.
Mile High Stadium in Denver. This emotional pit is ready. The winner today meets the Miami Dolphins. Congratulations to Mike Ditka, the Chicago Bears. They are in the playoffs. The weather could not be more perfect, nor the field in better condition. And to get a feeling of what it's like down on the turf, a man who knows his way, let's go down to Merlin Olsen.
Dick, we can see the game better from up in the press box, but believe me, you can feel it better down here. You can feel the excitement of these players as they came out of the locker room onto the field, the anticipation and the electricity in this crowd is just unbelievable. This stadium is built so it sits right on top of you. You can see them and you can feel them. The track is going to be fast. The field is absolutely perfect. Weather could not be better for a game.
I expect you to get into one of those warm-up pumping moves of your leg. You're ready to go.
I may not come up there and join you at all. I may stay down here.
Let's go now to the whole premise of this game. As we talked about it earlier, Dan Reeves and Chuck Noll said the defense has got to stop the run.
Well, both of these teams rode strong defenses into this playoff game, Dick. Two guys who are instrumental, Mike Merriweather for the Steelers, and on the other side, Tom Jackson. These are two of the most active and aggressive linebackers in the NFL. They'll be key to what happens today.
All right, let's talk about some game breakers. First for the Pittsburgh Steelers, their two wide receivers, that great veteran John Stallworth, who had his best year ever, and the brilliant rookie Louis Lips.
They really are game breakers. Great speed and great talent. We've talked for years about Swan and Stallworth, and here are Stallworth and Lips breaking the records that those two had set.
And on the other side, two 1,000-yard club members, Winder and Steve Watson. That's the first time in 25 years Denver's been able to accomplish that.
Well, they need to get the break opens with Winder. He's got a hammer so they can open the way for the passing game so that Elway can get the ball up on top to Watson. Watson, one of the most athletic receivers that you will see in the NFL.
The Pittsburgh Steelers will kick it off. Gene Lang and Gerald Wilhite deep for the Denver Broncos. Chuck Noll. He has been in 20 playoff games. His record 14-6. Reeves in his second chance. The Miami Dolphins wait the winner in the Orange Bowl. 75,000 partisan crowd. Gary Anderson will kick it off for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wilhite to the 21-yard line, maybe the 22. And here comes the offense for the Denver Broncos. John Elway, Jack's son on the field. It'll be Brian. We're going to be watching him. Howard and Bishop, the guards. Lanier and Studdard are the tackles. Kay, a good blocking rookie tight end. Butch Johnson and Steve Watson are the wide receivers for Denver. Elway, who has great feet and mobility, as he showed at Seattle 2 weeks ago. He has Wright as his H-back and Winder a 1,000-yard rusher. First down by the two. Elway to Winder. And Winder, who is also a good receiver, is to the 28-yard line. He caught 44 passes this year. Here's that Steeler defense. always known for their rock-hard defensive play. The Pittsburghers line up this way with Dunn in the middle, Goodman and Nelson on the outside. The linebackers, Mike Merriweather on the way to the Pro Bowl, David Little, Robin Cole, he's in the Pro Bowl this year, and Hinkle. The back four, Woodruff and Washington at the corners. The veteran Donnie Shell, he usually is toughest in the big games, and Eric Williams at safety. Second down, and about 4. Elway fumbles the snap from center and drops on it at the 25-yard line. Well, there are some key matchups, Merlin Olsen, and where will you be focused early?
We'll look right in the center. Bill Bryan, the best of the offensive linemen, against Dunn, the strongest of the defensive linemen. Now, people to watch on offense, Elway with his running, Winder and Watson. They're the key people offensively. Defensively, Merriweather, Shell, and Cole. We'll have the cameras on them a good part of the day. I just about got out of breath coming up there. The altitude got me, Dick.
Oh, come on now. Third down. And a long 5 for Denver. Both wide receivers right with Johnson in the slot. Elway's first throw. He guns it complete to Watson. First down at the 38. Steve Watson, who grew up in Baltimore and idolized the great Raymond Berry, and he has many of the same articulate moves.
Does not have blazing speed, but working on Woodruff. Woodruff gives him a cushion here, and he gets to the sideline. Excellent job. You saw how much room he had to make that play, and Elway has such a strong arm that those defenders cannot give that much room to these Denver receivers.
Back to the single back offense. 2 tight ends, the H-back being Jim Wright. He's in motion. Winder. Hit hard. Number 56, Robin Cole, very nearly loosening the ball from the grasp of Winder. Cole moved to the inside, Merlin, and he seems to have found a home there.
Well, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have known for a long time he's a better inside linebacker, but for years they were in a 4-3, and the man inside was none other than Jack Lambert. You can't move Lambert out. Now, when they went to the 3-4, he finally got his chance inside, and in his first year has proven to be an outstanding inside linebacker, a starter in the Pro Bowl, and he says he's just learning. Now, that's interesting.
And, of course, filled a big gap this year along with David Little with the injury to Lambert. He is not here in Denver today. And Elway doesn't like the defense, and it'll be 2nd and 9, and we have our first timeout. So here in Mile High Stadium, Elway, a fumbled snap from center, and now calls time. No score early.
It's Chevrolet's New Year kickoff. Chevy dealers are kicking off the new year with their biggest and longest celebration ever. They're out to sell 175,000 cars and trucks by January 21st. Take delivery from a wide selection of Chevrolet's most popular cars and trucks by January 21st and make no monthly payments till spring with GMAC financing. And what's more, save up to $740 on specially equipped full-size pickups, up to $330 on celebrity sedans and wagons. Big savings, deferred payments at your Chevy dealers.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Hey, give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
It's a wild place.
Well, we've credited the Steelers with one more loss, and they've earned their 14-6 in postseason play. The Broncos are 2-4, and of course the Steelers with those 4 Super Bowl rings, and there's still 3 players in uniform today that would like that dream of one for the thumb predicted by Joe Green to come true. 2nd and 9. Elway, this is what he did to Seattle. But Pittsburgh comes up to stop him after only a 2-yard gain. Number 53, Brian Hinkle, a 3rd-year backer from Oregon.
Excellent speed among the linebackers for the Steelers. Hinkle runs about a 5.6. Merriweather about a 5.5. And you saw him closing quickly on Elway, who's an excellent runner. Elway has averaged 4.5 yards per carry on the year.
There you see the Steelers' defense, AFC rank. And that's what they're going to be counting upon today. Stop the run.
They would love to keep Denver in third and long situations like they're in right now.
Away. Down he goes. That'll have to be credited as a sack as Harvey Clayton, 33, on a corner blitz.
Clayton coming off the left corner so quickly that no one picked him up. The Steelers like to overload in a zone. They'll put enough people over there that you simply cannot block them. Merriweather was coming. He was picked up. But Clayton, number 33, around the outside, and Elway could not get away from him.
Chris Norman to punt, 40-plus average, but much better here at Mile High. And back to receive the dangerous Lewis Lips. He has one touchdown on a punt return this year. He stands at the Pittsburgh 20. The only man in the league to return touchdowns on punts, receiving, and running. Norman end over end. Lips 21. 25. And down at the 27 or 8-yard line. Good coverage by the Broncos. A 42-yard punt. A 6-yard return. The Steelers have the ball for the first time. 11 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
What do a zipper company in Pennsylvania, a gear manufacturer in Michigan, and a nationwide shoe corporation have in common? They, like thousands of other businesses, have chosen IBM Business Computer Systems to control distribution, speed order processing, and turn out products smoothly. Whatever business you're in, whether you're in zippers, the gear business, or you run a shoe company, an IBM Business Computer System can help.
Today's Chevrolet invites you to take a close look at a new and different kind of sporty car. New Spectrum. Spectrum has a sportiness you're looking for, with an overhead cam engine, 5-speed gearbox, and rack and pinion steering. Yet Spectrum gives you outstanding gas mileage, plus a spacious interior and hatchback versatility. Take a close look at new Spectrum, the sporty car for everyday driving.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy. Chevy.
Wednesday, join Bruce Jenner, Morgan Brittany, John Hillerman, Miss America, and more in the wildest contest of all, the College Cheerleader Championship. Wednesday.
Crowd chanting defense, and the defense will be facing this Pittsburgh Steeler offense. The center, all-pro again, Mike Webster with Wolfley, a rookie, Wistowski, a rookie, Hilken, the offensive line, Stallworth, and Lips on the outside. Benny Cunningham, okay, he's starting. Now maybe Nelson. Nelson, another rookie, starting a tight end with Pollard and Abercrombie. Behind quarterback Mark Malone. Malone starter 9 of the last 10 games. He's 6-3 as a starter. And on the ground, a gain of about 8 yards. As Dennison finally brings down.
It's Pollard running the ball up inside, Dick. Pollard driving straight up the middle behind the block of Abercrombie.
Carter, the nose guard, Jones and Chavis on the outside. Active linebackers, the inspirational leader, Jackson, Busick, the leading tackler, Dennison and Ryan. Harden and Wright are at the corners, and Foley and Smith at safety. Not one of the Denver players made the Pro Bowl, and yet they're second best in the league in stopping the other team from scoring. Abercrombie, no gain. Well, you said on the other side we're going to look at the nose guard and the blocking center. How about this time?
Anytime you talk about running game, you start right in the center. An all-pro center, Webster, against a muscular nose tackle, Reuben Carter. Some of the people to look at offensively for Pittsburgh, Abercrombie we talked about, the 2 game breakers, Stallworth and Lips. And on the defensive side, Jackson, Foley, and Rulon Jones, the best pass rusher.
Third down, 2. Malone down at the 24. He fumbled. Was he down? No, it's a recovered fumble for the Broncos. Andre Townsend recovered the ball. Rulon Jones forced the fumble.
And Chuck Noll cannot believe what has happened. The Denver defense living up to their reputation as they force the turnover and recover the fumble. Malone taking too much time, and he's not terribly mobile back there. Rulon Jones runs him down and knocks that ball away. Right there, the Denver defense pounces on it, and they have the football on the 23-yard line. Watch it again. Townsend, number 61, the man who got down on top of that football.
So the first break goes to the Broncos, who went 13-3 because of those turnovers. They were second best to Seattle in the league. Winder gathered by David Little and Gary Dunn. Little from Florida, the younger brother of former All-Pro guard Larry Little, and Dunn. A lot of the Pittsburgh people felt he should have made it to the Pro Bowl.
Well, they really felt that he had a fantastic season for them, and you talk to players around the league who had to bump noses with him. Has great strength, occupies the middle of that defense, and Larry Little has just done a tremendous job. Imagine having to step in and take the place of Jack Lambert. Now, I don't know if I'd want that job, Dick.
Well, that's living in the shadow, David Little, of his brother Larry, and then the shadow of Lambert. Now he's on the main stage. Second down, 9. Incomplete, and it almost intercepted by Woodruff. That ball thrown so hard that the tight end Kay couldn't handle it, and neither could Woodruff. Even on the ricochet, it still had too much velocity and handcuffed the Pittsburgh defender.
I've got to believe that John Elway is still suffering from butterflies out there. Said it in that game in Seattle, took him a full half to get over it. Here he said he thought it might be less than that, but I think the energy and the adrenaline just caused him to gun that ball too hard. He's also throwing into receivers and defenders who are looking back into the sun. That's got to be terribly difficult down there right now.
84, Clint Sampson is in, along with Watson, Alexander, and Johnson. 4 wide receivers, shotgun 3rd and 9. Incomplete, intended for Sampson. And the field goal unit will come on the field for Denver. Rich Carlos. We're seeing the 2 most accurate field goal kickers in all of the NFL of those who have kicked 50 successfully or more. Carlos is second only to his opponent today, Gary Anderson of the Steelers. And while he had his difficulties late in the year, hit a couple of uprights that may have cost Denver wins, he certainly came back in San Diego and Seattle, and his season was an excellent one, 21 of 28 total. This one will be 39 yards. And the barefooted kicker is wide to the right, no good. So the Steelers duck the proverbial bullet as a fumble at the 23 of the Steelers, and the Broncos can't capitalize.
You must be able to take advantage of those early opportunities. You get the big turnover and a relatively easy field goal for Carlos, who has good range, but you saw it drifting off to the right.
Well, it's sunny and around 50 degrees down here in Denver, and off in the mountains, oh, they're enjoying their own form of glory. No score, middle first quarter.
It's Chevrolet's New Year kickoff. Chevy dealers are kicking off the new year with their biggest and longest celebration ever. They're out to sell 175,000 cars and trucks by January 21st. Take delivery from a wide selection of Chevrolet's most popular cars and trucks by January 21st and make no monthly payments till spring with GMAC financing. And what's more, save up to $740 on specially equipped full-size pickups, up to $330 on celebrity sedans and wagons. Big savings, deferred payments at your Chevy dealers.
I loved everything about buying a new car. The looks, the smell. I loved everything but getting the financing.
Then I found out about GMAC financing. It's so easy, you can do it all right at your GM dealer.
Now I love everything about getting a new car.
Except choosing which one. Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, GMC truck, Buick, Cadillac.
Tell your GM dealer you want GMAC financing.
That's the easy part.
So Denver with an opportunity on the recovered fumble deep in Pittsburgh territory. Can't capitalize. I wonder, Merlin, you were down there. You saw them come out and the players' faces and the reaction. Did one team seem more tense or more up than another?
I learned that lesson a long time ago watching my own teammates. Living with them, I couldn't tell how they were doing for a game. It's impossible to tell just looking at faces and reacting to what's going on out there.
Well, a Happy New Year to the fans in Denver, and a fumble by Malone, and the Broncos have it. Will it count? There is a flag down. Let's check the penalty. The Broncos apparently have fallen on that bad exchange between center Tom Jackson. A big game player comes up with the ball. Now let's check the penalty.
It's going to be a penalty on Pittsburgh.
Number 81. The flag
Pittsburgh gets a second chance, almost in the exact spot. The first one at the 23. This one is theirs at the 22.
It looked like a fumbled exchange right there. Malone never got the football up from Webster, and the alert Jackson, and that is a way to describe this Denver defense. They are terribly alert. They jump on that football, and look at those opponents' fumbles recovered. Seattle with 25, Denver with 24.
+2 today. So Winder, the lone setback behind Elway, at the 22 of the Steelers, right in motion. Winder. And he plows for about 5 before David Little and a posse of white shirts can bring him down.
Dick, one of the things that you know about this Pittsburgh defense, they play run on first down. And they have been hurt during the year by quarterbacks who would go after them with the passing plays. So far, Denver has run the football almost repeatedly on first down. And on that down, they picked up a good 4 yards, but they have not been getting much yardage on those first down runs.
Actually, as they measure now, it's 2nd and 5 for Elway. Dumps it off to Winder, and a good play by Woodruff on the corner. He took the outside away, and despite the fact by Winder could not make more than 2 yards on the completed pass.
You saw Woodruff giving a lot of room on the outside a few moments ago to Steve Watson, but did not give that kind of room. Made an excellent reaction to the ball, closed it off. It's going to be 3rd and about 3.5 yards to go.
Watson and Alexander to the right. Split left is Butch Johnson. Gerald Wilhite in the game. He's the wing left. Lots of time, and wide open is Winder. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Yeah, what a valuable asset this Winder is in his 3rd year out of Southern Mississippi. He can run it and he can catch it.
Wilhite in to open that up. 3 wide receivers and a good receiver up at the wing, but it was Winder who just went in and hooked up there, and you saw Hinkle, number 53, slip as he reacted to that throw. I don't think he would have stopped the first down anyway.
4 completions for Elway, 3 of those to Winder. 1st and goal at the 8. Winder tripped up and did not get to the line of scrimmage as Edmund Nelson in his 3rd year from Auburn down low, with Donnie Shell there to secure the play at closer to the 9-yard line where it'll be 2nd and goal. Now the Steelers have not allowed a touchdown in the first quarter in the last 13 games, so they've been tough early defensively, and they really are getting the test today in that Chuck Noll's club has coughed up the ball twice inside their own 25.
Well, if they can avoid a score here, they will indeed have the momentum on their side early in this ball game.
Right in motion. Here they come. Elway wide open. Jim Wright, touchdown. A touchdown pass all year until the last game in Seattle. He got a big one there, and he opens the scoring today.
He came dangerously close to losing that football. Let's look at the pressure from Merriweather, who's coming hard. But Elway uses his speed to get outside. That's the mobility that this defense is so frightened of. You saw Wright almost bobble that football, was able to control it.
Rich Carlos hits the extra point, and the Broncos lead 7-0. So a bad exchange between the center Webster and the quarterback Malone. Jackson recovered the fumble, and on 2nd and goal from the 9, Elway to Wright, and a 7-0 lead. And coming up, the Bob Hope Classic as the 1985 Golf Tour begins here on NBC.
January's champions take to the greens. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and defending champion John Mahaffey, plus President Ford and celebrities from television and motion pictures. All at the Bob Hope Classic. January's champions are on NBC Sports.
The Mercedes-Benz 190 class for 1985. So masterfully engineered that it can perform with the world's finest sports sedans. And that makes it exciting. Yet so conscientiously engineered that its feeling of sheer driving security is unique. And that makes it a Mercedes-Benz. The 190 class, Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
AT&T is in music.
You kept me dancing.
How? With our people. People who can show record companies how to use our AT&T long-distance network to fill orders electronically from distributors all over the country. So the music never stops.
You got me dancing, dancing, dancing.
The people of AT&T Communications. We're thinking about your business in ways you never thought of.
That fumble shortens the field, only 22 yards, 5 plays. The 9-yard pass for the payoff to Jim Wright. 7-0 and Carlos to kick off. Rich Ehrenberg deep for Pittsburgh. Beautiful high kick. Ooh, he's got a big hole up the middle. But it closed, and down he goes at the 27-yard line.
Dick, one of the things that I think might be happening out there, the Steelers have tried to alter their snap count. Ehrenberg's still on the field, as you see the cameras pick him up, shaken up, obviously. But one of the things that the Steelers have tried to do, Denver jumps around a great deal on defense. They've tried to alter their snap count, either going on a quick count or on a long count, so they can force Denver to end up in a defense they don't want to be in if they go quick, or get a chance to react to that defense if they go slow. The end result is that they have bothered themselves.
Ehrenberg helped off, hit in the face. New Year's Day, big football day here on NBC, and we have late for you the Orange Bowl.
The best and the brightest of the bowls are on NBC as the Orange Bowl lights up the night sky. Second-ranked Oklahoma battles #3 Washington in a game that could decide the national championship. Plus the beauty and pageantry of the famed Orange Bowl halftime. On New Year's Day, America loves its sports, NBC style.
Technology is taking over the world. You can keep up with it, or you're going to be left behind. That's why I joined the Army.
From microchip circuitry to laser technology, the world's largest school for high-tech skills is the Army.
Bravo, go active. Bravo, lock, 205.
Be all that you can be.
I don't intend to get left behind.
Find your future in the Army.
Hope we're going to a New Year's Eve party.
I'd prefer an office party.
I want to go to a kid's party.
McDonald's Chicken McNuggets 20-pack. Tender chunks of chicken. The life of any holiday party.
How do I look?
Delicious. Golden brown is your color.
Whoopee! Let's go to a sleigh ride party.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Parties, parties.
Oh.
That's all you 20-packs ever think of.
McDonald's.
Rich Ehrenberg, something to do with the face. Even the helmet couldn't protect the hazardous duty of being a kick returner. Darren Como made the tackle. It was up high.
Looks like he's trying to stop the nosebleed. Watch the shot coming from the right-hand side of your picture. Right there. Como just buries an arm into Ehrenberg's head, and Ehrenberg went down like he was shot.
27-yard line, first down for the Steelers. They've been playing around the 20 to the 30 and have fumbled twice, once at the 23, once at the 22, and now trail 7-0. Malone dumps it off. Abercrombie, 33-yard line, gain of about 6. Dennis Smith, the safety man from Southern California, will be rooting for his alma mater, the Rose Bowl against Ohio State on Tuesday.
A long snap on that play. Malone took that one safely. He wants the short pass here, and I'll tell you, if Abercrombie wasn't such a fine athlete, he would have missed that ball. Had to turn all the way around to get it, Dick.
He was looking for it inside. The ball was thrown outside. Abercrombie made the adjustment. Second down, 4. driving to the 48-yard line, and that's why the Steelers are so excited about this young man from Baylor University. When he was within a tackle of going all the way.
Tremendous blocking on the offensive line. The Steelers will trap you to death up front. They came with a tackle trap on that play, coming in from the outside. Watch the trapper coming from the left side of your picture, right there. Number 63, Wolfley, right there, knocking a man down, making room for Abercrombie, who exploded into that hole. The man he talked it, oh, it's Rostowski, excuse me, Rostowski, 53.
First down at the 48, 7-0 Denver, 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Into the flat to Pollard, 50, and he is to the 45 of Denver. The first trip into Bronco territory for the Steelers, a 7-yard pass to Frank Pollard. Smith again made the tackle, and Pollard, also from Baylor, it's an all Baylor backfield behind Malone. He led the team in rushing with 851 yards. Has learned to be a pretty good receiver.
He certainly has. And he talked to me in the locker room just before the game. He said, "I'm really sorry I couldn't get 1,000 yards." He said, "That was my goal. I'm sorry I didn't get it." He'll add to his totals on this game today, Dick.
Second and a short 3. Abercrombie loses a couple. Dennis Smith joining Rick Dennison. Dennison from Colorado State, a free agent, number 55. He has been perhaps the biggest surprise in the development of this young Denver team.
Here are the leading tacklers, Busick and Dennison. You see them, number 1 and number 3. They were the 2 biggest surprises for Dan Reeves, he said. They came on so strong at those 2 inside linebacking positions. And look, Steve Foley, a safety, the number 2 tackler for this Denver team. Actually, 2 safeties each. One, well, it's a broken nose on Ehrenberg. You see him trying to stop the bleeding. That hurts. He's the 3rd down back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But I'll bet we'll see him again before this game is through. 3rd and 5 for Malone. Over the middle, complete to Pollard. And Frank Pollard has a first down at the 30 of Denver. And Malone just getting rid of that one.
Pressured again by Rulon Jones. Rulon coming in over the top of Pete Rostowski. And there you saw Pollard going out of your screen on the bottom. You'll see him coming back in, getting away from Jackson on that play. Jackson couldn't keep up with him as he broke across the middle. Nice play. Isolate on the linebacker. Get the pass to him. Malone doing a good job on this drive of picking at the Denver defense.
Using his backs, he's 3 for 3 passing. Abercrombie to the 26-yard line. Reminder, we will be selecting the Bud Light Most Valuable Player in today's game, and a $1,000 contribution to charity in that man's honor. We'll announce that later in the 4th quarter.
Louis Wright coming up from his from his corner position, forcing well on that last play. Did make the tackle, but it was a fair gain. About 2nd and 6, isn't it, Dick?
At the 26-yard line, 7-0. Denver leads on a 9-yard pass play. Elway to right after a fumble recovery at the Pittsburgh 22. Steelers trying to get even. Stallworth left, Lips to the right. Wide receivers haven't caught a pass yet. Here's a little fake reverse. It is a reverse to Lips. But the Broncos weren't fooled a bit. Tom Jackson, 57, staying at home with fellow linebacker Steve Busick.
Abercrombie will carry this ball around. The play was kind of broken up a little bit. You can see the Lips arrived a little late. I think Abercrombie is supposed to go out further, and because the play was mistimed, it was much easier to read by the defense. 2 of the linebackers read it quickly and closed it down for a little bit of a loss.
Looked like Dennis Smith was coming up on a force, and Abercrombie wasn't sure he'd be able to even get the ball to Lips. Complete to Abercrombie.
He's going to be awfully close.
Depends on where they mark it. If it's inside the 20, it's a first down, and that's where they have marked it. First down for Pittsburgh, and a clutch throw and catch.
One of the things that Pittsburgh coaches and players talk about repeatedly is how quickly Malone has come along in his ability to read and recognize defenses. You've got to remember that Chuck Noll, one of the few coaches in the NFL who allows his quarterback to call most of the plays. Now, on that particular down, he sent a play in. He will do that more with Malone than he would have with a Terry Bradshaw, but Malone calling most of his own plays.
That's remarkable in that he has had really very little game experience. In fact, when he first played with the Steelers, he was a wide receiver. Bradshaw connected with him and what is still a record reception. Good protection. Into the end zone, intercepted and dropped. Louis Wright appeared to have that one picked off and couldn't hang on. Wright was voted the top defensive player by his teammates this year here in Denver. That's a high honor because it could have gone to any one of 11 men.
Let's watch Darrell Nelson. Young rookie here makes a very big play at the end of this particular down. Now, the interception is had right there. Now, watch him reach up and slap that ball out of the defender's hands. Now, that's just a good alert play by a rookie on that particular down. Here's another shot of it. Just stripped it right out of Louis Wright's hands. Otherwise, interception, they bring it out to 20. It's Denver's ball.
2nd and 10 from just inside the 20. Malone from Arizona State. Draw to Abercrombie, and look at the power.
Oh, my.
A gain of about 8 for Abercrombie, maybe even 9. He was their #1 pick a couple of years ago, but just never could find a place. They had Franco Harris and Pollard, and they had Greg Hawthorne. They moved Hawthorne around, finally traded him, and finally in the last 5 games, Abercrombie has become a regular, and he has delivered.
With Ehrenberg on the bench, he'll see even more action in this game because he'll probably stay in on 3rd downs. There is Joe Collier, the defensive mastermind of this Denver defense, and this is where his defense is toughest, inside the 20-yard line going in.
And tough enough that Malone didn't like what he saw. Too many orange shirts in the wrong position, and he has called time with just 19 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Broncos lead by a touchdown.
Hope we're going to a New Year's Eve party.
I'd prefer an office party.
I want to go to a kid's party.
McDonald's Chicken McNuggets 20-pack. Tender chunks of chicken. The life of any holiday party.
How do I look?
Delicious. Golden brown is your color.
Whoopee! Let's go to a sleigh ride party.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Parties, parties. That's all you 20-packs ever think of.
Of McDonald's.
Wilfred Milstein, please report to my office immediately. It seems he sent a large package to Cleveland, and it didn't get there. This is not the attitude upon which I founded this company 25 years ago. It exemplifies a lackadaisical attitude that I will not tolerate in this firm. Fred Milstein, where are you? Come to my office immediately.
Next time, send it Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
There are several sidebar pieces of beauty we enjoy as a sportscaster. When we arrived a couple hours ago, this is how Mile High Stadium looked, and then the transformation and all the color of this sellout crowd of 75,000.
And how much orange is there in the stadium?
You almost get arrested if you don't wear it. In fact, one of the judges on Monday is going to wear his bright orange robe. It's his playoff robe in court here in Denver. It is rather contagious. They boo no-shows here. They only get a few, 100, 200 a game that don't use their tickets. All right, here it is. 2nd, 3rd down, and a short 2. Malone fighting the noise of this crowd.
He tried to call an audible. There it is, outside. No.
And he doesn't make it. Elton Beals, a rookie from Tulane, knocked down by Steve Foley.
And this is where the injury hurts them right here. Ehrenberg ordinarily would have that position. Elton Beals goes in, not as well prepared for that responsibility. We talked about Foley as a tackler. Look how quickly he responded to that little toss, and he's a deadly one-on-one tackler. Look at that play. Took the legs right out from underneath that back.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Gary Anderson and the field goal unit was coming on for Pittsburgh. They'll go for 3 to start the next quarter.
Mrs. Smith wanted a small new car that's built to last. Mr. Smith wanted a big new car with room for 5 and lots of suitcases and German engineering. But the Smiths had less than $7,000. So, how did they get all they wanted? They bought a new Volkswagen Golf. Buying a Volkswagen has always been smart, but buying a new Golf is simply brilliant. Golf. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
Sounds like there's a bear in the beer.
What are we going to do?
I'll be right back.
Where's he going?
He's going to get that beer from that bear.
That's not just a bear. That's a grizzly.
Yeah, but that's not just a beer. That's fire-brewed Stroh's. I thought we had 3 cases.
Well, had to make a deal.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
These days, when you're pumping your own gas, nobody's going to ask to check your oil. That's your job. And Pennzoil is the oil for the job. When you're around golf course machinery as much as I am, you know you've got to check the oil to keep that engine protected. And you know you've got to use a quality oil. So when you check your oil, and you should, ask for Pennzoil.
Pennzoil, quality protection. Ask for it.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, welcome back to the second quarter. Denver leading 7-0. Gary Anderson from South Africa went to Syracuse, and he has as strong a leg as there is in this league. Some feel he'll eventually kick one 64 yards. This one is a chip shot from 28. Ooh, he just slid it inside that right upright. Anderson gives the Steelers their first points of the game.
Important to convert, to put those points on the board. Anderson almost fell prey to the same devil that put Carlos's first kick outside. Let's watch the holder, Craig Colquitt. Look at him spin that ball to try and put the laces back toward the goalpost so that there won't be a problem with having those laces going the wrong direction. Look how dangerously close that ball was to sliding to the right, just as Carlos's kick had done earlier.
Good thing it was from as close as 28.
Chrysler introduces the new technology of driving. Turbo New Yorker. Front-wheel drive, electronics to inform you. Chrysler luxury to comfort you, and turbo power to move you. Turbo New Yorker. Once you drive it, you'll never go back to a V8 again. This is Chrysler's most technologically advanced luxury car, backed by the Chrysler Protection Plan. Turbo New Yorker by Chrysler. The best built, best backed American cars.
Can you believe it? JT with an $18 million contract?
Sure is a long way from the playground.
Think he still drinks Stroh's?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
JT, man.
Richard. Timothy.
This is all right.
Glad he didn't forget his friend.
Or his Stroh's. Where is the Stroh's?
Out by the pool.
The pool?
Stroh's and Stroh Light.
Now that's a cooler.
Fire brewed for smoother taste.
Today's game is brought to you by the new Chrysler Corporation. We don't want to be the biggest. We just want to be the best. By Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop. And by Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste.
Well, it's snowy up there, but sunny, as most often it is down here in Denver. Actually, they don't get a lot of snow here in the city. The Tourist Bureau wanted us to remind folks of that. Anderson's kick is a deep one, and Lang will not run it out. He downs it, and it'll be the Broncos at their own 20-yard line. Quarterback John Elway. Boy, his heritage is something. As you know, his dad, Jack, is the head coach at Stanford, but his grandfather played football against the immortal Jim Thorpe of the Carlisle Indians. So Elway's relationship with this game goes a long way back. He's 5 for 7 to start.
Interesting, Dick, when you talk to him one-on-one, you don't get that commanding leadership kind of response from him, and yet you talk to his teammates, there's no question, when he is out on the field, he is in command, and he is the dominant personality for this Bronco offense.
Leading 7-3, start of the second quarter. Throws on first down and hits Watson at the 28. Covered by Washington. Oh, he does have a rifle of an arm, but that was what everyone talked about last year. This year, the opponent's talking about those marvelously quick feet of his.
Well, he has made a lot of big plays, has turned a lot of broken plays into big plays. And talking to Tony Dungy, the defensive coordinator for this Pittsburgh team, he was more afraid of Elway's scrambling ability. He said that's how he makes his big plays. If we can keep him in the pocket, we feel we can control him.
Well, Tom Catlin, the Seattle defensive coordinator, said the same thing 2 weeks ago. It's his scrambles, and that indeed set up the win. That's a lateral pass, so White, this is an eligible pass. Wide open is Watson. 35, he picks up a blocker. 25, and out of bounds at the 20. Plays, and that one worked for 52 yards.
The old double pass. Throwing first to Wilhite, and it had to be a lateral to make the second pass legal. Here's Wilhite swinging to the outside. Look how far behind Elway is. Now Wilhite throws this ball, underthrows it, or it would have been a touchdown. Look how open Watson is, and Watson electing to come back and try and pick up blockers. Got the first down way down inside the 20.
Third time they've used that pass this year. Winder outside. Good running by Winder. Appeared to be trapped for a loss, and he wound up making 3. Let's look at that play again. Wilhite, had he thrown a clean spiral, would have had a touchdown.
We're looking at it from the other side of the field now. Quick toss out to Wilhite. And again, look, that ball just kind of fluttering up there. That's when you throw that in practice, all the players quack like ducks. You notice Watson again breaking over, trying to pick up blockers, and did get some extra yardage before Dwayne Woodruff, number 49, finally drove him out.
Well, you work on those plays, and they're fun during practice, and when they come through for you in a game, that has to be an emotional as well as a gain for the team. For a gain on the field of play.
No question about it.
2nd and 7. Watson. And that was a lateral pass, but that was no intent for him to throw another. He's down for a loss of 3. It'll be 3rd and 10.
He's trying to take advantage, trying to get 2 blockers out in front of him. Bishop, keep Bishop from his guard position coming out, along with Butch Johnson trying to block, but no room for Watson. And the stiffening of this Pittsburgh Steelers defense means that Elway is looking at 3rd and long again.
And like hockey substitutions on the fly, Steelers bring in 4 new men as they change the defensive alignment on 3rd and 10.
They've got 4 defensive linemen. They will go with 6 defensive backs against 4 wide receivers. That's what they've got on the field right now.
In trouble, but Elway able to get away. 20. He's got a first down at the 8-yard line. Yard scramble and a first down for Elway.
John Elway, and this is the kind of play we mentioned, turning what looked to be a sure sack, a broken play. That was Keith Gary, number 92, trying to take him down, but Elway just ducked inside and headed upfield and used his good running ability to pick up that first down.
They spotted at the 7, so it's a 13-yard run by Elway, and that's what the Steeler defense was talking about. Winder gets a yard to the 6. Gary Dunn of Miami of Florida making the tackle. We'll see the Hurricanes and the Bruins to start our January 1st triple header. Miami and UCLA in the Fiesta, then Ohio State, USC at the Granddaddy in Pasadena, and finally Oklahoma and Washington in the Orange Bowl. So make your plans to be with us on New Year's Day. Second quarter, it's 2nd and goal for the Broncos at the Pittsburgh 6. 24, Rick Parris is in the game. Elway to Parris. Right off his shoulder pads. Donnie Shell on the coverage for Pittsburgh.
I think Donnie Shell may have shaken that ball loose. If Peros hadn't dropped it, he may have heard Shell's feet as he comes up. Just a little toss into the flat. But watch the shot from number 31 right there. I don't know if he'd have been able to hang on to that football or not.
3rd and goal.
So far in the ball game, both teams have converted 2 of 4 third down situations. This certainly the most crucial, as Denver would love to be able to get this one into the end zone and not have to just settle for 3.
He went to his H-back, Jim Wright, for the first touchdown. He calls time in this situation. That's the second time that Elway has called timeout. Both young quarterbacks electing to use their timeouts instead of going against the defense they don't like. 12:03 left in the second quarter.
Step up to a new technology. At Wang, we make computers not to intimidate, but to enhance one's performance. So when we put technology at your fingertips, it's not just the power, it's the glory. Wang, we put people in front of computers.
The best and the brightest of the bowls are on NBC. Kick off your day with the Fiesta Bowl. Sophomore sensation Bernie Kosar leads defending national champion Miami against the unpredictable UCLA Bruins. College football at its best. The Fiesta Bowl. On New Year's Day, America loves its sports, NBC style.
State capital of Colorado. Mile High Stadium in Denver, a big play, 3rd and goal at the 6.
A capital opportunity here for the Denver offense.
Well, they went to the trick play to set up this chance to score. Let's see what Elway's called upon. Going for the 6. Intercepted by the Steelers. Gary Dunn, the nose guard, brings it back to the 9-yard line. Elway threw it up for grabs.
They were coming right on top of him. You saw his eyes as he looked into that defense, and apparently he did not sense the blitz. At least he was not ready for it. They were on him so quickly, he just unloaded the football, tried to get it out in front of the receiver, but it dropped right in the hands of number 67, Gary Dunn. Watch the pressure. He's looking to his left, and when he looks back, that's Mike Merriweather. We told you to look out for Merriweather, and Elway knows why on this particular play. This one he's trying to lay out in front right here. I think he wants to get it to Winder. He simply overthrew, and Gary Dunn gets a lineman's dream, picks up the ball.
I want to ask you about that play after Pollard drives up to about the 17-yard line. Now, that was an unusual position to find a defensive nose tackle. Dunn was playing like a defensive back.
It appeared that they were using what we would call a mirror for that middleman. In other words, he was anticipating run, I think. He's drifting to the outside.
Look where he is.
He's expecting a rollout, and I think he'd gone out there to be in position for that. Instead, he finds himself with a football in his hands. A most unlikely situation for a nose tackle.
2nd down and 3. So 3 times the Broncos have been deep in the Pittsburgh end of the field, and they come away empty twice. It's 7-3 Broncos. Abercrombie driving to what appears to be close to a first down at the 21. Steve Busick to replace Randy Gradisher and leads the Broncos in tackles. Made that stop. There's Dunn getting a breath of air. Does it help at all in this mile-high country to use the oxygen?
Well, I think it might help you at least in your head a little bit. I think that's where there's no question that this altitude is going to bother you, and I don't think you can acclimatize yourself in just a couple of days. You just got to gut it up and go, but if you think that oxygen helps, it probably does.
For almost 5 more. The Steelers are a long distance away from a possible lead as our goal line, actually our goal post camera
That does seem like a long ways when you look at it from way down in the other end zone. Of course, Malone would like to get his Steelers moving here. They're trying to hammer right up the center, Dick. They're going right at the middle of that Denver defense. Busick and Dennison inside, and Reuben Carter on the nose.
First pass to Lips, and despite the fact that he fell down, that great talent to bounce back to the feet and pick up the first down. So Lips has his first catch and 9 yards. What a rookie year he had, not only in receiving the ball and complimenting John Stallworth, but in his threat as a punt returner. And as you said earlier, Merlin, a lot of people may have missed the note that Stallworth and Swan, in their best year, did not have a season to equal the year that Stallworth and Lips had this year. First down, wide open is Stallworth. Oh, he slipped away from Harden, and fortunately for Harden, there wasn't enough sideline for Stallworth to keep on going. But that will be another first down and 12 yards. The first catch for Stallworth, who has caught a touchdown pass in 8 straight playoff games. Talk about a money hitter.
John Stallworth will usually be found on the left side, Lips on the right, at least on first and second down. In long yardage situations, anything goes for this team. But you saw Stallworth working on Harden. That's not a good matchup. Stallworth, a veteran, can really turn those defensive backs around.
Weegee Thompson, 87, is in for Pittsburgh in motion. He's a good blocker. Abercrombie, though, needs more help. And down he goes for a big loss. Foley and Busick.
Talking to Merle Moore before the game, the linebacker coach, he said, we're going to try and get penetration. We're going to do some blitzing early. Look at Foley up quickly. That's what he did. He broke the rhythm of the play, and that swarming defense. Look at all those orange shirts. Nowhere for Abercrombie to go.
The defense for the Broncos and taking the ball away. Recovering fumbles, 17 men shared. 13 different men had an interception, and 16 others were involved in sacks. What does that tell you?
That is team defense.
Dan Reeves, pupil of Tom Landry, one of those that Landry helped along. Mike Ditka is into the NFC Championship game. Look at the time for Malone to find Lips. And even Louis Wright can't cover a man that long. And it's a first down at the 38-yard line of Denver.
You put your finger right on it. You can't give a quarterback that much of an opportunity. His receivers have time to work. Malone looking left, 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 and finally goes back to the right side to Lips. Lips had made a little outside move. Let's see what he did to get away from Louis Wright. Now, his primary move is there. He'll look back here. Yeah, look back. There he is. Sees that his quarterback is in trouble, and he's just trying to get open there. Got Louis turned around a little bit downfield.
25 yards for Lips on the catch. And here come the Steelers. They trail 7-3. 8:45 left in the first half. To Stallworth, and Stallworth has another Pittsburgh first down. Interesting strategy by Chuck Noll and Malone. They ran the ball throughout the first quarter, and suddenly 4 big pass plays on this drive.
Oh, it's very interesting, Dick. Both teams talk so insistently about the necessity of being able to run the ball. I don't think it's so much that they have to run it as they have to be able to know that they can get that yardage rushing. If the other team cannot take the running game away from them, they still have all the options.
First down at the 25. You saw Noll's great record of getting in the playoffs. Some feel this may be his best coaching job ever. He had great teams that expected to get there. Many didn't think he had the talent this year. Malone and Lips had pulled up short as Wright had him well covered. What do you think about that, Noll's coaching job this year?
I'd have to agree. In fact, it's interesting to me that Chuck Noll has never been selected as a coach of the year.
Isn't that amazing?
4 Super Bowl championships. I think one of the reasons, Dick, he has never really catered to the press, to the media. In fact, he has kind of a low idea about our value and things altogether. But this man is the consummate coach, a dedicated coach, a low-profile coach. He cares about what his players are doing, what his team is doing, and with this young, Pittsburgh defense and young Pittsburgh offense in particular. 6 rookies have started for him this year. That's amazing.
15 rookies on the team. It's 2nd and 10. Draw play to Abercrombie. He's wrapped up after a gain of 2 by Rick Dennison. And while we're talking about youth, this is certainly not an experiment, but the result of great youthful play this year, because Denver, too, has gone with a very young team. Almost 20 of them are younger than Elway, and he's only 24.
Dan Reeves, and again, Dan was selected as Coach of the Year by Sports Illustrated to honor the kind of responsibility and the kind of leadership he has given his team. But I think on both sides of the field, tremendous coaching during this '84 season.
Midway through the 2nd quarter, a critical 3rd and 8. Good protection. Open is Abercrombie, and what a play! Number 48, Randy Robbins, a rookie from Arizona. There it is. The young man made a touchdown-saving deflection.
There are some passes that Mark Malone does not throw well. This is one that he does throw well. A takeoff pattern, trying to get it over the top of Randy Robbins. And look how high Robbins went to bat that pass away. That's a touchdown. Another inch or 2, and Randy Robbins would not have been able to reach that ball. That's great defense.
41-yard field goal attempt by Anderson. He barely made the 28-yarder. And he does the same thing, misses to the right. So the 2 most accurate kickers active in the NFL, Anderson and Carlos, have each missed today.
And strangely, the misses all to the right side of the goalpost. That ball just stayed out there, never did hook back to the inside.
Good snap, good hold.
He knew the minute he put his foot on that ball.
Colquitt spots the ball. The swing of the leg, and Anderson's face will tell you the rest.
Sure like another Stroh's.
No, wait. Alex? 2 cold Strohs.
Where do you see this?
Just open the refrigerator. Just open one bottle. Just open the other. Now he's pouring yours. Now he's pouring mine. Alex, you better be drinking your water.
Stroh's and Stroh Light, fire brewed for smoother taste. The best 6-passenger car value. The Plymouth Reliance Super K. Now we're offering our dealers automatic transmission at no extra cost. These savings may be passed on to you. You can save up to $439, backed by a 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan. The 550 Reliance Super K. Match it.
...1984, a look backwards, Monday on NBC Nightly News.
Just to underline the building of these 2 teams, 15 rookies or first-year players for the Steelers and 14 for Denver. And one of those, Robbins, making a touchdown-saving play in that last series, and Anderson missing the 41-yard field goal try. And it remains 7-3 Denver with 7 minutes left in this first half. Stay tuned, NFL 84. Ahmad Rashad here in Denver. Bob Costas to review the first game activity as the Bears surprised Washington. And no surprise there, and almost an intercept by Eric Williams. As good deep coverage on Butch Johnson. Mike Merriweather, he had 15 sacks this year.
Coming in right there on Paul Howard. He's got a face full of Howard's hand and just blasts Elway in the ribs as he gets there, but he had a few fingers in his face mask on that one from Paul Howard.
I like this quote. What do you dislike most about football? And Merriweather said the contact.
Well, you know, they've tried to compare him to L.T. Taylor in New York, and he said, look, I'm not that kind of linebacker. He said, L.T. runs over people. I run around them.
Yeah, I think he's a little tougher than he's giving himself credit. Second down and 10, Denver. Whoops, may have been offside. Flag is down. Elway with a free play. Watson has about 11-yard play out of it. Out of bounds at the 34.
The official straddling that first down marker. And, of course, if it is against the Steelers, it will be a first down. So important for a defense not to quit when a whistle is blown that way. Flag is thrown.
Both Gary Dunn and Keith Gary were offside, says referee Fred Wyant. First down, they'll take the play out at the 33.
Right at the top of your picture, you see the jump there. Elway using his voice. And I think that's what it is. He's giving them a loud barking count, staggering it, got them to jump in their eagerness.
Let's see if we can pick that up. Too much noise. Oh, that's a noise he doesn't like to hear, as he is smothered by Dunn and Little and company.
That hit by David Little, reminiscent of a stick he put on Marcus Allen in the Raider game on a critical fourth down situation. You see him there listed as the fourth leading tackler. Merriweather and Donnie Shell, again, a safety, the second leading tackler. Robin Cole and David Little, as you would expect. The tackling dominated by three linebackers, but kind of a surprise to see a safety in there. But Shell has always been accused of a linebacker and a safety, of being a linebacker in a safety's position.
And also a great clutch player when it comes to the intercepts. We want to talk about that. And there was movement, both sides movement that time. Elway going long for Butch Johnson, and he has it at the 23 over Donnie Shell. Now let's check the penalty.
It's just a matter, Dick, of who moved first over there on that left-hand side of the Denver offense.
I thought it was an orange shirt.
It looked like Clarence Kay, the tight end, may have gotten out too quick and drawn the defense off sides. No question about Elway's ability to throw that ball deep. And Johnson did a great job of suckering the defensive back, sliding in behind him to pick it up.
Bad news for Denver.
Motion, number 88, illegal motion.
There's Clarence Kay right at the top of your picture, and you saw him off ahead of the count. And that is a rookie mistake. And this is the kind of game, unfortunately, that kind of thing happens. So much intensity, so much emotion on the field, and with so many young players, we're going to see some of those critical mistakes today.
They declined the penalty to bring up 3rd and 9. That's where the statistics are misleading, too. That might have been just a 5-yard number in a penalty yardage total, but it was a 43-yard loss on the pass play.
Well, that's 48 yards that you lose in one big gulp. Pittsburgh pretty happy about that one.
And movement again. Elway down the middle. Incomplete and broken up by Woodruff. Watson, the intended receiver. We'll check the penalty, but first, prophecy from Dan Reeves.
Reeves talked about the importance of these games.
Number 93.
Now that is a crucial play again, a big mistake. Keith Willis, and there's Dan Reeves. He was talking about the importance of these games in the playoffs and how critical they are. Here it is. Every game, sudden death. There's no question about it. There is no tomorrow. If you lose this one, somebody else goes to Miami.
Reeves, who yesterday was watching the Seattle game at Miami and commenting on what great respect he has for both coaches, and particularly Chuck Knox, and how well Knox has treated him as a new head coach. Elway again, extricating, and he had men wide open. Clarence Kay didn't have a white jersey within 20 yards of him, but Elway was throwing under pressure. And in fact, the fans wanted a roughing penalty.
John Elway back, and it's Mike Merriweather storming in from the outside, all over the top of him, but Elway got away and then got dumped. Now that's what made the fans here angry.
Why isn't that a penalty?
Well, it probably should have been. It looked late from here, Dick.
So Keith Willis gets away with one. Now the ball is clearly away, and he's already taken 2 steps and gets hit. If that isn't a roughing the passer penalty, what is?
I think the reason maybe it wasn't called, the official, looking back, did not see how far Willis came on that play. Had he seen him, I think he would have dropped the flag on him.
3rd down and 4. And they're offside again. This time it was Mark Catano. And Watson has the catch. And he's still on his feet to the 50-yard line and a first down.
Absolutely amazing for Watson to be able to catch that football. It went right through the hands of Sam Washington, and his concentration was so good that he didn't lose it.
Offside, number 78, defense.
Well, they'll decline that penalty, take the gain out to the 50 of 10 yards. Catano, a free agent from Valdosta State in Georgia, and he too took the hook, and something that Elway's doing is drawing those Steelers offside.
Well, I think it's the way he's barking his cadence. Looking at it from the other side of the field, you'll have a chance to see the penetration right there. And again, it's a rookie in an emotional situation, well into the second, or well into the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped.
Leading 7-3 gives to Winder. Winder has his longest gain, 8 yards. Stolen away, and I didn't hear a whistle. That might be Pittsburgh's ball.
No, they're saying it was down, Dick. The whistle was blown, and both of these teams working at stripping that football away. A much greater consciousness of that in the NFL, and I think that comes from the ability that Denver and Seattle have shown during this season of taking the football away by stripping it away from the runners and receivers.
Pretty quick whistle, says the Steelers. There's that giveaway takeaway. It's 2-1 in favor of Denver today against Pittsburgh, done with the interception and a couple of fumbles recovered by Denver.
Let's look and see what happened at the end of that play. You see him on the ground, Winder laying on the ground. Robin Cole reached in and snapped that football away. Cole, a powerful man, but obviously Winder was on the ground before
that was before they fumbled. No question. 5 minutes remaining. 7-3. Denver driving to try to add to that lead. It's 2nd down and a long one. It's closer than 2 yards. Winder gets inside the 40, and that should be enough for the first down. Gary Dunn spearheaded the defensive charge, and the Broncos have 4 more downs. Championship game will be the early of the 2 games next Sunday here on NBC. We invite you to join us at high noon in Miami as the winner here, Denver or Pittsburgh, will meet the Dolphins for the right then to go on to the Super Bowl.
Dolphins back in stride. Marino throwing well, and the most important thing, their defense playing as they had played early in the year, shutting down the running game, which is something they were not doing late in the season.
First down, Denver. 4:05 left in the first half. Elway to Butch Johnson, incomplete. Good call by the official, who took his time, measured to see if that was a forward pass or a lateral pass, and ruled that it was forward, incomplete.
Now, if I were a coach, I'd have a hold of Butch's neck on that one. He can't guess whether that was a lateral or not. He's got to cover that ball.
There it is again.
Elway throwing so quickly that ball not very far behind. It looks like it's almost dead even with the line of scrimmage.
You saw the official. He gave it a good look and made his call. This telecast presented by Authority, the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the NFL is prohibited. Merriweather chasing Elway, and he gets him. Little finishes the job. Little will probably get credit for the sack, but it was Merriweather. Boy, does he hound the quarterback.
Great speed, great quickness. He's the kind of guy that will make your day long if you're a quarterback. And even with Elway's ability to use his feet, you see the one-on-one matchup right there. Merriweather getting back outside, and Elway just can't get away from him. Dogs him all the way back into the traffic. David Little, number 50, takes him down.
He led the team in tackles, Merriweather with 98, led the team in sacks with 15. Gastineau, the NFL leader, with 22, and
Andre Tippett
at 17 and a half, the best for linebackers.
That's the only other linebacker who bested Merriweather's record on the year.
Clock running out. Here in the first half, 7-3 Denver, third down and 22. Elway, the whole stadium rising to watch as Elway gets away again. He was beyond the line of scrimmage, and the flags go down.
There it is.
Illegal forward pass. The line of scrimmage was the 49 of Denver. He threw it from the Pittsburgh 49.
I'm sure he got a little assistance. They got a little assistance in making that call from the Pittsburgh coaches, who were looking right through Elway at the yard marker on the far side. Elway again showing you this is a planned rollout, by the way. This is not just a rollout after the fact. Planned to give him more time. Looked all the way back across the field, and here he is, just stepping beyond the line of scrimmage. Pittsburgh coaches waving frantically, and they did get the call. Referees having a little trouble with their microphone on the field today. Freddie Wyan unable to communicate as well with us as he would like to.
That's 5 yards and loss of down. Fourth down now and nearly 30. Lips drops back to the 15.
Pressure defense. Pressure defense. 10 men up, Dick. Let's see if they're coming after Chris Norman. Look at him jump around. Like a fire drill down there.
You think there isn't pressure on that punter when he's looking at all that movement?
I think they're coming.
Norman end over end. Lips will let it go, and it goes way out of bounds. We'll see how they mark it. It'll be around the 20. Not even that good. 22-yard line.
Ken Woodard, number 52, the outstanding special teamer of the last 2 seasons. He'll be nailed on the outside by Harvey Clayton, number 33, who's trying to stay in his way, keep him from getting downfield. And there's a second blocker coming over to help. Scoop Gillespie, but Scoop got scooped on that one.
32-yard punt. With 3:10 left in the half, it'll be Pittsburgh with a ball at the 22, trailing 7-3.
What do a zipper company in Pennsylvania, a gear manufacturer in Michigan, and a nationwide shoe corporation have in common? They, like thousands of other businesses, have chosen IBM Business Computer Systems to control distribution, speed order processing, and turn out products smoothly. Whatever business you're in, whether you're in zippers, the gear business, or you run a shoe company, an IBM Business Computer System can help.
Presenting beauty in motion, the Dodge Lancer. Its fluid lines are graceful, captivating. Its sleek body glides through the wind. Dodge Lancer, with room, space, and virtually every electronic convenience available. And Lancer has a fuel-injected engine with optional turbocharger, so you'll know what to expect. Great performance.
Back here in Denver, and I'd like you to give us a little insight on trapping. Pittsburgh is known as a trapping team, inviting a defensive lineman in, getting him out of position, then someone he doesn't expect to hit him comes out of nowhere. How did you handle that as a defensive lineman?
You need a lot of experience to be able to read that. Anytime you're penetrating deep, that's what the defense and the offense would like to do to you. They'd like to get you across the line and just knock you out. Pittsburgh runs more sophisticated traps than anyone in the league, and they're doing a good job of trapping here on Denver today.
They probably have the shortest linemen, offensive linemen, in all of the NFL, and they're also maybe quicker than some of the other linemen, and they use that trap technique and the screen. Old-fashioned football, and Pollard rumbling to the 37-yard line with 3 minutes left in this first half.
Looking at it from the end zone, you'll have a chance to watch this screen develop.
There goes a flag.
Uh-oh, now we got a fight down on the field. Let's watch the action there.
Nothing serious, but a flag is down.
Emotional. I mean, these players, you could sense it as they came out. You couldn't tell which team was most emotional, but there's no question a great deal of intensity.
Personal fouls against Pittsburgh. Now, that's not one of those double calls and nullifying penalties, so Pittsburgh nailed, and that'll deny a sizable gain for Chuck Noll's Steelers.
Chuck Noll will not be happy about that, as it will mark his team back. At the end of that play is where the foul occurred. You see Pollard running downfield. Let's watch and see. Yeah, let's keep looking here. Maybe we can figure out what happened.
Foul, number 30, First down.
It's Pollard.
The man who was tackled and being roughed up, he apparently kicked or something down into that pile.
Very often, when you're down and you're vulnerable, a defender will crash into you or be pushed into you, and you think he's done it intentionally. Often it's totally unintentional. I had that happen to me a couple of times trying to get away from people that ended up stepping on them or kicking them.
Pittsburgh moving the ball much better on first down in this game, but they trail where it counts 7-3. Ball marked back at the 22-yard line where it's 1st and 10. Exactly where they started this series. So in essence, that last penalty just nullified the game by Pollard on the screen. He picks up yardage to the 29. It'll be 2nd and 3, and the clock running 2:44 left.
A chance to watch one of those traps that we talked about. Let's look at Long right here, who will be coming across in your picture to do the trapping on the other side. Take a peek at it now. He'll be coming from the right side of your picture, driving across number 74, and actually in that situation Jackson had come so deep that he didn't even have to make the play. Jackson taking himself out of the play, and they were able to go right straight on through.
Now wants to work. You drew it and it didn't work. As soon as you turned away, your favorite animal, that old telestrator, just popped up on you. Well, we got the idea anyway.
Electronic wizardry.
It's like all that computer work trying to get in and out of hotels. Sometimes you can't make it. NFL 84. All the gang, and nice to have Ahmad Rashad with us here in Denver to add his thoughts about the first half of play and also the key plays in case you missed them. The Chicago Bears and moved on to the championship game in the NFC against the San Francisco 49ers. Walter Payton, brilliant defense, some little chicanery by Mike Ditka. They pulled out a few trick plays, and they seemed to work against the Redskins, and they've advanced.
And that safety that they called, Ditka took with about 8 minutes to go in the game. If they had lost that game, I think he might have been second guessed for a long time over that, Dick.
Ditka was one of those who called Dan Reeves this week, and they chatted with each other and wished each other well. Said, any other phone calls? He said, well, the president didn't call me, not even the one that lives just a few miles down the street in Plains, Georgia. Native Georgian, Dan Reeves. Complete. And Big Ben Cunningham, they've missed him. He's healthy again. And he's to the 48-yard line. Cunningham, who caught only 4 all year. In fact, one of the amazing statistics in this era of the tight end in pro football is that the total catches by all the tight ends on the Pittsburgh squad for the year is 11. That's just one day for the Winslows of the world. 2-minute warning with Denver leading here at Mile High 7-3.
Dodge announces the toughest truck warranty in America. 5 years or 50,000 miles. Covering transmissions, drive shafts, blocks, heads, flywheels, transfer cases, axles, U-joints, water pumps, all internal engine parts, and outer body rust on every truck we build. Ford and Chevy talk tough. Dodge proves it. Dodge, the best back trucks in America. That's guaranteed.
When you're on the road like you are now, and it's another hotel room in another town, don't you get lonely?
Yes, I certainly do.
Are you lonely now?
Yes.
Do you miss him?
Yes.
I hate that. I like people to be happy. Please welcome Billy Davis Jr.
Sally Jesse Raphael tomorrow at 10 here on Channel 11.
Denver leading Pittsburgh 7-3. All the experts figured of the 4 playoff games this weekend, this would be the closest, and thus far that has been true. Turnovers have been a factor. Well, there are a lot of behinds, the Broncos.
A little
here
humor,
in this part of the country.
a little humor to go with it.
Well, the Steeler fans would have their banners and gonfalons ready back in the Steel City as well. First down at the 48. Little draw to Pollard. Look at the running room. And Pollard blasts to the 38-yard line. The Steelers have 2 timeouts left. They used one earlier in this half. Clock running 1:47.
Pollard showing you how he amassed in excess of 800 yards. They go right back to the line of scrimmage. Malone trying to get the call on the audible.
Dumps it off to Pollard. Makes a... No, incomplete. Never had control. The man who fell on the ball, number 74, Terry Long, is quite a story. There perhaps is no other player in the NFL quite like him. He is 5'10", if that's all, 272 pounds. When he left high school, he weighed 160. He went into the special services in the armed forces. He had 60 parachute jumps and went to the weight room, went from 160 to 272, and has made this team as a rookie from East Carolina.
And he's played a great deal during this season.
Most of those offensive linemen, 6'4", 6'5", he's in there at 5'10". 2nd and 10. Pollard again. Got a block. 25, 20. And finally, Dennis Smith gets him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And there was some good blocking on that right side of the Pittsburgh line where Long is working with Tunchilkin.
The Broncos had a blitz coming. They're coming. You see Jackson coming up inside. And when you blitz against a draw play, often you just kill a play. But if you miss it, you have a back running, and the next people to see him are the secondary. Dennis Smith, the next guy with a chance to get Pollard out of bounds. Pollard getting a big first down, and the Steelers driving down to the 16-yard line. 1:24 left on the clock.
Plenty of time for Chuck Noll's Pittsburgh team. Crowd trying to make it difficult. Open is Stallworth. And the veteran John Stallworth is out of bounds at the 2. Remember, he has 10 playoff touchdowns, 8 consecutive games with at least one, and he came within 1 3/4 yards of another.
This is the kind of thing that Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, wanted to have happen. A good mix of passing and running by establishing the running game. You saw the draw a moment ago to open it up. You force the defense to honor that, and then you can come back and find some open territory. Look how much room number 82, John Stallworth, had to work in. Did a good job before they drove him out of bounds.
And stop the clock with 1:17. There's some confusion on the sidelines for Pittsburgh. 1st and goal. Pollard is in the end zone, and the Steelers lead for the first time.
A very late touchdown call. The officials looking back and forth, and finally one of them threw his arms in the air. It looked like second effort from Frank Pollard as he was stopped momentarily just short of the goal line and then twisted his body and using great strength. He has huge thighs, good strength, forcing himself into the end zone. We'll look at it after the extra point.
Colquitt to hold for Gary Anderson, who narrowly made a 28-yard field goal and then missed wide right from 41 yards. Right down the middle of the uprights this time.
Here's that touchdown play. Pollard, as you will see, will be stopped. Watch the surge now. He'll be coming in. He gets 2 extra blockers. Veals over there, Anthony Corley over there, and they've got him stopped right there until he finally just twists his body and squares away and forces himself and the ball into the end zone.
And this the result on the sidelines. Chuck Noll rarely showing any emotion. He leaves that to the players and the assistant coaches. That's about as big a standing ovation as you'll get from the headmaster of the Steelers. Pollard has given Pittsburgh a 10-7 lead. The only mistake they made, maybe they scored too soon. 1:14 still left.
United Way salutes Pittsburgh and one of its leading citizens. For more than 50 years, Art Rooney has guided his beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. He helped build the foundations of professional football and set a standard of quality that has made the NFL unparalleled in professional sports. His calm, selfless counsel saw his team through the tough early years to the Steelers' first Super Bowl victory in 1975. The Steelers are the only NFL team to win 4 Super Bowl titles. Art Rooney and his family have been part of the vitality and tradition of the Pittsburgh community. His strong commitment to the United Way and the Catholic charities which they support has made him one of the most universally loved and respected citizens of Pittsburgh. And he's still helping others. Pittsburgh is said to be one big family. Art Rooney is the heart of that family. This message furnished by the National Football League.
Before the game, the two presidents, Stan Rooney and Patrick Boland, wishing each other well. And of course, you just saw the Chief, Art Rooney, will be 84 late in January. And we want to wish him well watching back in Pittsburgh. Enjoy that fine interview with Bill McAtee on NFL 84. Look at that kick by Anderson. And Wilhite says, no way, I'll take it at the 20. I made a comment earlier that Anderson, in practice, tries field goals from 64 and makes them rather consistently. If he ever gets a chance and they need a long one in this atmosphere, mile high, we might see him break Tom Dempsey's long-standing NFL record.
There's no question he has the leg to do it. He has the confidence to do it. A day like today, the air is not as warm. If it were warmer, say about 85 degrees, that would help him. The ball tends to get a little bit tighter in this kind of situation, does not reflex as well, doesn't travel as far, but you can kick a good long one up here today anyway.
Now remember, the Broncos have only one timeout. Elway had to spend two earlier. 1:14 left in the half. They trail for the first time. Winder caught from behind. Brian Hinkle. We talk about the speed of Merriweather, but Hinkle can run as well. He has 4.6 speed.
Looking at it from the opposite side of the field, you'll have an opportunity to see this offside pursuit. This is just great pursuit from the backside of the field. 53, he'll chase Winder all the way across the field, and Winder simply did not feel him there. He was looking at the blocking up front, and Hinkle able to use his 4.6 speed to run the running back down.
Fans are booing because Denver has made no attempt to stop the clock. It's down to 33 seconds.
They'll go deep here.
Wide open is Watson. Is he in bounds?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, what a toe dance by Steve Watson. He has to have the best toenails in the league.
Stretched all the way out. A chance to see his ballerina-like catch here. Look at those toes. Absolutely flexed to the maximum.
Like a fallen sequoia.
Beautifully done. And they're out just inside the 35-yard line. 26 seconds left in the half, and Elway can get this ball down the field a little bit further. They may be in position to let Carlos have a try at the long one.
That's 6 catches for Watson. As you look at Carlos, number 1. Watson with 6 catches, 109 yards. Leading receiver in this first half. They picked up the blitz. Open down the middle is Watson again, and he's at the 44.
Only one timeout left, and they'll call it right here. Denver takes their final timeout. You remember they had to call 2 because of confusion earlier. Elway's saying why. Well, if you look at the clock, there are only 18 seconds left in this game. Now, they may not have time to get things stopped and get their field goal team on the field. A little bit of difficulty here, but look at the concentration by Watson. Knows he's going to be sandwiched. Eric Williams and 49, Dwayne Woodruff. The sandwich right there, but he hangs on to the football.
You know, the fates of the game are really interesting. We asked Watson yesterday, out of Temple, no one drafted him 6 years ago, and here he is. He had 69 catches this year. He's well over 200. He's been a brilliant player. I said, did you know you could be this good? He said, yes, but everyone thought I couldn't run that well, and I was kind of a skinny guy. I said, well, why'd you pick Denver? I thought there'd be some magic story that maybe they did a better sales job. He said, I went to Denver because I looked at the rosters and I saw Haven Moses, the great receiver here in Denver, was going to retire. I said, I'll take his spot. Well, that's confidence.
Had a chance with, didn't he play with the Firebirds back in one of the old teams, Pottstown Firebirds? I think that's where he had his
Continental League or one of the
Continental League.
Yeah, his hobby is art, and Watson is certainly an artist on the field and has come up with 2 more key grabs to give Denver a hopes of adding to their 7-point total and a possible field goal that could tie it at the break.
Now, Dan Reeves calls the plays for the Denver Broncos, and he has sent his choice onto the field. Let's see what they do to try and pick up some yardage and get the clock stopped.
They have to work the sidelines or go for it all. They can't afford to be tackled in bounds. No timeouts left. A fake to Winder, a throw to Wilhite. He gets out of bounds. Stops the clock with 12 seconds. They're at the 40, so this would be a 57-yard field goal try if they were to try now, but they've got enough time for at least one more pass play.
Trying to get some confusion there, moving their people around. 3 wide receivers, a couple of backs up close to the line. That puts 5 receivers quickly into the secondary, but the Pittsburgh defense able to cope adequately on that play and only a short gain.
If you're wondering, Carlos's longest field goal in college and the NFL is 50 yards. 50. Well, way to the sidelines. Watson not in bounds. He was out of bounds. Could not get both feet in that time. And that would have given Carlos a fairly good chance at one. It was around the 26.
Now, Watson doing his magic a number of times, but on that particular play, unable to put both of those toes on the ground. You'll see it on the sideline there. 1 foot and the second on the sideline. You just see him. Well, you talk about this being a game of inches. Now, if with shorter toes, he might have been able to stop.
Well, they're going to gamble with 7 seconds rather than trying a 57-yard field goal. Elway is hopeful that he can get a quick pass and out of bounds in that 7 seconds.
They may throw it up and try and get a penalty here.
Well, Will Height.
He got the ball.
It's a catch, no catch.
No catch.
He won't get much help from Dan Reeves. So Carlos is going to have to come in for a desperation long try, or will they go for one final bomb in 2 seconds?
Well, it looks like Carlos will stay on the sideline, and they will try again, hoping for the penalty. Elway throwing powerfully to the sideline, and you saw the ball on one hop. The official right there.
Here comes Carlos, the player of the year in the balloting by fans here in Denver, and one of the 5 finalists for the NFL Man of the Year.
These fans make this whole stadium rock. You'll see our cameras occasionally rocking as these fans stomp and show their excitement here. And they are about as wild as any in the NFL, if not the wildest.
57 yards away from a tie. Nope. That one spiraled its way downfield. And that is how the first half comes to a close. Underdog Pittsburgh, perhaps following a script written earlier by the Chicago Bears, takes the lead at the intermission 10-7.
Dick, talking to Denver players and listening to all the press and the media, they were very confident that they would be in Miami next week. They can't afford to ignore this Pittsburgh team. They found that out the hard way here in the first half.
We've played 30 minutes. The score, Steelers 10, Broncos 7. Now stay tuned for NFL 84 right after this.